Waiting for PSG.LGD versus OG.
seconds remain. Dyer's turn to ban. Radiant's turn to ban. It is Radiant's ban. Dyer's Radiant to pick. Choose. 10 seconds remain. Radiant's turn to Dyer's
Dusk.
I speak for the trees.
It is Dyer's ban.
Bristleback.
It is Radiant's ban. Dyer's turn to ban. Seconds. 5 seconds.
Powerful, their health pool is so massive, they do a lot of damage, you just send them down a lane, and that's just something they have to deal with.
Yep. You said you didn't really want to see the Bristol.
It is Dyer's ban.
Always they pick up 2 cores, although they do occasionally put the Viper on a support role. So I don't mind it. I think overall PSG.LGD, like to me, their draft just covers more bases from their opening. Like Bristle Viper doesn't sound like a good opening by itself, but when you look at the Nature's Prophet on the other side, it's something like, okay, you see what happened. Where would you like this Viper to go, or do you like the fact that it could still potentially be flexed into a support?
I'd probably like to see it offlane. I just think it's good there. There was a lot of criticism, I think, around the Riyadh finals when Spirit was picking Viper twice in the finals, and it was like, oh, like what, like Viper, his Collapse isn't making plays, like you want him to like solo carry the game. But to be honest, like if you watch those games, he destroyed LGD early. Like I think this matchup goes 2 ways. I think Viper is very good as an offlaner, and he will put a lot of pressure onto Arme, but the other side of it is Arme is a god. He is so good. Arme, like, yeah. I watched Collapse kill Arme's lone druid like twice. He killed his bear twice as well. He was so rich, and yet Arme by like 15-20 minutes, he was like 2nd in net worth, super recovered. It was like he had never lost his lane at all. The man is a god. It's very, very hard to pressure him.
I know it's very specific to that game, but what enabled Arme to kind of come back like that?
I remember his team making moves, right? And then he gets like, but he needs the triangle space.
Yeah. Nothing to say, I think, is a great space create. Like, he's like one of these mid players that doesn't get hyped up because he doesn't like solo carry games. It's usually like he's more setting up Arme for success, whereas I think a lot of other teams have mid laners that get to do flashy stuff. But he played, I think, Tango both those games. He was just banned here, but like he's just this big kind of team fighting playmaker who loves to basically set up Arme for success.
We have some more picks coming out here. It's Earthshaker Coddle OG.
Shaker.
So that's the Seth Shaker, right? That's what he played in one of their previous games yesterday, I think, and I was like, why is he rushing an Octarine core?
This is kind of cool. I like these second phase bans where like they start off like, okay, they're going to target Amar, and then they get to the second phase and like, okay, Seb doesn't have his hero. We know he's the other player who has a smallish hero pool. We're going to target him. Like Io Wind Ranger bans. Let's just get rid of these heroes and force him. Like Shaker's a weak hero. There's a reason no one's playing Shaker. This hero does nothing in the lane. It's a big liability. Like your lanes are going to feel really weak when you've got a Shaker on your team.
I think I'm very not pleased with OG's draft in terms of like greed. I look at these heroes, like Viper is not a mobile hero. He doesn't get a blink and make plays. He's not fast at getting around the map. He does want to kind of stay in an area if he can. Bristle is going to want to take the triangle area. He wants stacks. He wants the jungle. He wants to farm his ags, and that's his timing to go. Coddle, he likes to sit in a lane and push waves. Shaker, he wants to sit in a lane and farm his blink dagger. I know in the last game that Seb played Shaker, he didn't go blink dagger at all, so he might just be playing a very like sacrificial Shaker that doesn't do that.
Do you think you can play Earthshaker that way? Is there an impact late game of Earthshaker being like that?
Radiant's turn
Potentially.
to
Okay.
This is something that we should want to see get played out
No
a
one
bit
else
more.
is, it's hard to say, like, can you play Shaker that way? Like, no one's playing Shaker right now. And I think there's obviously a reason for it. Like, it's not like some hero I think that's like underrated or like it's a bit forgotten, but the hero, like, there's just way better options to be like the Enigma type heroes that just do more and have a better laning stage, more impact. There's items they can go for, like the Wraith Pack, that you're not gonna Shaker, you still I think just have to go Blink typically, or I don't know.
We'll see. I mean, I guess we're going to see it play out, but we haven't really touched on LGD's side. Winter Wyvern and Jug here. Jug being that last pick on the second phase.
Jug's a weird hero. He's like this combination of physical and magical damage, because if you get the Maelstrom, the Shard and stuff, your spin is doing like quite a lot. You do a lot of AoE damage by like Omni Slashing and having all those procs go off, which is very nice. He obviously provides healing. Like between that and the Wyvern, they might be able to go group up and push some objectives. If this Earthshaker is super poor, he's not going to have Blink and they won't be able to contest it. You want a way to sustain yourself when taking objectives, because Coddle's going to be like spamming you out. Viper's going to be trying to spam you out. Right now, OG have very good tower defense.
Okay. What do you feel is going to be missing then on the side of LGD? Or even OG? Either or. I guess LGD is last pick, so we'll start with OG.
When they're looking for a mid laner, they need something that doesn't get too hard counted. To me, they need more playmaking. Like right now, the Shakers, they're only stun, they're only catch, and yeah, it's good, but it's probably going to be Seb playing. He's not going to get a whole lot of farms, so having that mid laner, I mean, Puck's being banned out. These kind of, you know, the typical Spirit type heroes can work. Batrider is banned, so
Yeah. Ember's still in the pool though.
yeah, I think something with some kind of playmaking potential, because you've got these side lane cores. I assume Viper and Bristle, at least right now, they look like the cores. Heroes that are just going to farm and sit in their lanes. So
All reliable Void Spirit. Am I right, guys? All reliable Void Spirit.
I have never heard you say
Is there
that.
anything he can't do? He can gank, he can kill, he's so much mobility. If there's anything missing in your draft, it's usually filled by Void Spirit.
there's one team who may pull it back out. The OG do play Storm Spirit too.
Oh god, that would be really scary. I mean, it'd be great with the Coddle.
Yeah, they played it yesterday. I don't think it was with Coddle, but like they're one of the few teams who still seem to believe in this hero. So
They did. They played it. It was Marcy, Io, Storm, Faceless Void, and Bloodseeker.
Do you say Io?
Yes.
That's like the Coddle replacement. Anything that just like pumps mana into Storm was always like the pairing that people would put him with. So that fits an idea there. They do want like a way to jump the Wyvern and the Nature's Prophet. These backline heroes just cause problems for them. Like I think Void Spirit with an Ags with the AoE Silence would work for that. I think what you're saying with Storm would work for that.
and there's no catch really for LGD's side, because I was about to say it's almost like both teams. Right now, their drafts are kind of slightly lacking the same thing, if that's something they're going to really prioritize. So,
Well, it was actually a Night Stalker last ban. Are you expecting that one? What do you think the reason behind taking that hero out of the pool is?
It's just that backline.
Yeah.
He's going to give so much vision with the ult, and then they just see all their key targets. They know where they want to go in fights. It's disruptive and annoying.
it's on a mid hero, but there's is flex potential for OG. They could send Coddle mid. There's Bristle, Viper. These heroes can go other lanes, but
The one spirit we
I
didn't
know,
mention.
I know
Gosh,
we
we
did.
suck.
It's weird.
I said, I was like, Ember's still in the
You did.
pool.
Oh,
All right,
sorry,
so you
Nat.
went Ember, I went Storm, 2 went Void.
Yeah,
There we go.
There we go.
We found
covered
the best
them all.
panelist. She's
Good
so
thing they
good.
didn't do Earth Spirit mid, you know?
Oh yeah, then we actually would have just been wrecked.
I mean, that's just an Ori thing. I don't know if that's coming out on OG.
Well, I was gonna get you guys to try and predict the last one, but LGD Enchantress.
Wyvern mid, okay.
Okay, Wyvern mid.
Is
I
it
like
Ench- Or it could be a core. Oh no, it is. Yeah, you're right.
Ench, last pick. How we feeling about the round out of LGD's draft?
I just want to run
Strong
over this lane.
lanes. Boss game.
I think this. I playing Viper into Ench lanes. Honestly, I think is miserable. Like it's like the dream 5 position against Viper, and I think this is looking really rough for Amar. Particularly, like I think Ami just like has the dream game here.
Need some sheep.
I think Amar really needs to win his lane, and then BZM and Tiger need to link up with the Ember and Coddle, and they just need to make plays and kill people, because if they don't hold LGD's momentum, I think they'll just get run over.
Alrighty, well, it is our first series, game 1 of the day. We're gonna jump into it with Lacoste and Gareth.
Thank you so much. Right, here we are, LGD with some serious laning power here, Lacoste. OG, do they have what it takes to get to their item timings?
Looking at this Viper pick, Coddle, Bristleback, Shaker, it's very greedy from OG. They will need time. There's going to be a lot of stacking. Looking at how they can invade jungle, maybe they can try to steal like big camp, but they can't kill the Ancient. So that means that Bristleback is going to be able to take the Ancient stacks. So maybe PSG.LGD wants to go in, block it, so that there's not going to be any stacking. A bit weaker in the lane. I'm a little worried as well what Panel talked about. This Viper lane playing into Enchantress, playing into Juggernaut, so you have a lot of sustain. Both of them have a healing mechanic, and also you have ways to dispel things. So this lane might be a bit different. Phase Viper, so that means that it's gonna get countered.
Time to get ourselves into the game as we start the day off here with LGD versus OG. And you know, the power of the three-letter names, right? We've got ATF, we've got Seb, we've got PSG.LGD.
All three letters.
You know, who else is there out there?
Who else is there? FBZ, BSJ, Zai. There's way too many.
Did you say BSJ?
Yeah, there's way too many good players with three letters, man. I wish I had it. And into the game we go.
It's not too late to rename Lacoste.
Nah, I can't do it.
Just change your name to, you know, LCS or something.
Right.
LST.
That sounds miserable, Gary. Smoke from PSG.LGD. We have Tusk starting with the Boots of Speed on Jin Q. One of the better Tusk players out there. Him and Kret definitely. Two names that pop up every single time the hero is picked. They know how to utilize it. A little, I'd say, weak in the lane because the hero does consume a lot of mana. You need constant clarities, mangoes running, but this also means that they're gonna be pulling the wave. Their level 1 is really strong with base damage from Arctic Burn. That's always going to be something that Bristle needs to care about.
Absolutely does. Yuragi gonna wander himself up towards the top rune spot where Faith Bian is already there, taking the bounty rune under the nose of BZM's Ember Spirit. And Ember, a hero that we've talked about a lot over the past couple of months. I know the topic came up in Riyadh where he was like 1-5, 1-6, was doing very poorly. But at this event, I believe he's 3-1, and his KDA is one of the highest so far, like 13.5. So looking like a hot pick potential.
Mind Orchid this time around to have some extra lockdown for Ember Spirit because they are a bit limited in that department.
That'd be good, yeah. So when it's a good Ember game, you
it's
feel
a good
comfortable.
Ember game, yeah.
Well, so far, 4-1 for the Wyvern, 2-0 Ember Spirit. Nothing to say coming out on top early days. And here's what you were talking about, right, Jin Q? Not only dragging the creep wave, but also blocking camps.
Camp.
Yeah.
If he wanted to be even more efficient, he could have killed the courier. Maybe stacked one extra camp, I don't know.
So many things on his checklist to do.
Just kidding.
Down bottom, Wise Enchantress getting fissured out. Arme already spending the spin. So far, it doesn't look too bad for this Viper Earthshaker. They've done a lot of damage to the Jug and the Enchantress.
They did pull the lane back with Fissure, so they had the lane very close to their tower at the start, having extra armor, extra regeneration. It's a lot of pressure.
And spin, a pretty long cooldown level 1. We need Arme to get to level 3 to really feel super safe in this lane. But I guess once Y gets his levels as well, these creeps chasing down the Viper, causing some chaos. Looks like BZM more than recovering. Getting towards dead even with the Winter Wyvern. And he'll have his bottle being delivered by that courier very shortly. While Yuragi, trapped inside the Arc Shards of Jin Q. Illuminate comes with his tag team doing some serious damage. They don't want to commit though.
Jin Q had 5 Coil Spray charges, did not want to go. There's a good synergy in this lane because you have Nature's Call with tag team, so that's a lot of damage. Nothing to say. We'll refill the bottle on a mid lane, and so will BZM.
Get themselves refilled up. Yuragi has the refill from the Kotl. Tiger going to give him that Chakra Magic and a Tango. And that staying power in the lane. Jin Q still just looking for an opening to go, but they've got this wave right in front of their tier 1, so that's free farm for the prop. While a Fisher down bottom, It does block Arme into an awkward position there, and he actually spins to get rid of those poison attacks, but it's something Seb has noticed. Now they know it's on cooldown, and it was still level 1.
And they have a lot of mana. There's 2 mangoes on Earthshaker and 2 on Viper. There is a healing salve as well, not gonna use it. There's gonna be healing from Enchantress if necessary, and also dropping down the healing ward.
So were you expecting this lane to go much better for LGD? Has OG managed to kind of settle the score here better than expected?
I mean, this is why they picked it. They picked Enchantress, but there is still a sentry, so the big camp is blocked. Enchantress not getting any good creeps. Usually you would want to get this mana burn guy, so you have Aura and also burning mana on Shaker and Viper is pretty good.
Yeah, that Viper super mana reliant. Loves to be spamming out the poison attacks.
Finally unblocks the big camp.
Gets it done. Fisher onto Arme.
He's out of mana.
Well,
This might be the first blood.
He's only got 1 stick charge. The poison attacks go in. That enchant though slowed the Viper down just enough. And now Arme and Y, a little bit of a turnaround as they spin back towards Seb. Won't be able to finish anybody off though. Nature's Attendants will now heal the Juggernaut up. They've got that double heal in the lane for the sustaining. Incredible against heroes like Viper.
Jin Q going for the water rune, stealing it away from BZM.
Yeah, so the double there for nothing to say, right? You got the bottom one. Jin Q guards top. So no refill for the Ember. We do see Kotl kind of wandering around in the jungle. They've got double dire wars
Seb
watching for the
places the ward.
stacks, but in comes Seb in the mid lane. BZM straight in towards nothing to say. The Illuminate clips him, and this Wyvern looking pretty dead. Pops the Fairy Fire. Bot charge 2. Faith Beyond going to come in, but it's not fast enough. Wyvern drops. BZM will have to lose his life in the exchange, though. As Seb and Tiger look to split and run, but Shaker caught inside the ice shards. Down you go for a 2-for-1.
I'd say that's a good trade for PSG.LGD. They're getting some extra levels on both Tusk and Nature's Prophet. Wyvern did manage to drive them closer to them, so in the end, a good trade. I'm not sure if Wyvern will be aware of the observer ward that was placed on the mid lane on the high ground, so potentially they could try to go in and kill him one more time before level 6, because Ember will hit a little faster level 6 than Wyvern.
Yeah, halfway through 5. Looks like those dire wards have all gone now around that top jungle area. They had the double vision that has now dissipated. Now looking for anyone that was contesting stacks or roaming around as the Tusk does love to do. Jin Q and Faith Bian though now with pretty nice wave coming forward. Counterpult held at the large camp. So next wave coming in, they could maybe think about the push. We'll see what Uragi and Tiger do to stop that. The Bristlebank very good at clearing out these stacks on his lonesome.
Tiger making some big stacks near the outpost. He's going to stack 3 camps at the same time. That's efficiency. They also have an observer ward place, so they're going to see if someone's coming. They can block. One of the supports probably going to block the entrance when Bristleback is going to be farming that.
Diving Amar, Faith Bian brings the +1. Bonus hero in here to get the kill on the Viper. Earthshaker, Y gets the tower aggro up himself. So now a push in from LGD onto this bottom tier 1 tower. And Earthshaker, not the best hero to really defend, especially once he's already spent his Fisher. This catapult's going to do some serious damage. They need BZM to arrive. Just with his body, he'll zone them out. Quick little sleight of fist there, and LGD respecting the fact that OG could bring numbers. Straight back up to top for Faith Beyond.
And I like the itemization on Fate Beyond this time around. I mentioned the Orchid, but he's going for a different route, something that's gonna give them even more answers to Bristleback. Like, you become tanky, you always have a global presence, so you're gonna be in those kills, collecting Urn of Shadow charges, and later on Spirit Vessel as well. Uragi.
He's got
Vanguard
his Vanguard
done. Even more stacks in the jungle. This is gonna be very juicy for Bristleback.
So, we assume LGD know about this, right?
Yeah, most definitely. They're pinging it out.
Yeah, they've got that high ground ward, so they see the stacks. Jin Q is there with his body, seeing everything too. Do they bring 5 heroes to contest this? Because we can only assume that OG will do that as well.
They were thinking about it.
Yeah.
They've definitely got the options, you know, Jug Spin, Split to Blast, they've got ways of clearing it. It's nothing to say.
Splinter,
It's a straight up
that's a
solo
solo
kill. Oh, what a sick move.
I guess BZM underestimated the damage.
Oh,
coming
I
out from
did.
Wyvern.
The Ember Illusion, you know, helping out as well. Hitting into the Ember Spirit himself. Nothing to say after that. First death, making up for it. And it looks like LGD not really in position to contest the stacks as Yuragi takes them. Instead, playing into the dire triangle, finding Seb, clearing through the Earthshaker, but the trade-off here with Amara arriving will find the Tusk kill, and now BZM wants to get involved. Faith Beyond, Remnant to the
TP on
pond.
him.
Wyvern comes in from the left-hand side. Faith Beyond trying to throw out his ulti to kill off Amar. Sprouts the Viper, still alive, but the Flame Guard will burn him through. Tiger runs it back. In a 2 for 2.
If Nature's Prophet had TP ready, he could have potentially got out because there is not a single point in Searing Chains at the moment on Ember. A lot of stacks. Look at the net worth on that Bristleback, but nothing to say. He's keeping it close. This is going to be extremely good timing on Witchblade.
Yeah, we had like quadruple large and medium camp stacks there, and Bristleback barely 300 net worth ahead of the Wyvern. Does still have a couple of medium camps to clear through though. It looks like Tiger just continually building these stacks up for his squad mates. And there's another one, the Warpine Raiders. LGD, 3 heroes down in their bottom jungle. They all farming together, holding hands. Arme gets the solo lane to get himself that experience he needs. Jinkyu with Y and nothing to say. I want to kill Amar again. It has been a tactic utilized by a lot of teams. Focus ATF, remove him from the game,
even Omni Slash.
tilt the Viper out of the match. And Yuragi, well, he will come in to look for Jinkyu, but some good eye shards there. Now a Fisher blocking him between them. Traps the poor Tusk.
It's global presence, and yeah, Viper was off to a really good start in terms of CS. He had like 15-20 denies, completely dominated the Jug lane, and now Jug is ahead of him. This is why whenever we mention Viper, as we say, you know, win the lane, lose the game.
Well, the age-old saying that. Is it Faith Beyond just going to pop trees out and try and kill this tower? He doesn't have his urn yet, because his... For that tier 1, while mid lane being pressured by nothing to say. BZM and HTF
available.
Coming straight towards him. Oh, the heal from the Ench. Yeah, that's enough. Keeps him alive. Very, very speedy Wyvern. Dipping back and forth.
And while all this is happening, what you just said, Fate Beyond managing to kill the tier 1 tower on the bottom. Not usually the tower that falls, but still opens up the map, opens up the entrance to the enemy triangle.
So far, a dead even game. OG, you're gonna feel pretty good as OG, right? They're getting towards their item timings, and maybe here a chance on Arme, but he'll have spin in a second. Just kill the healing ward on the way out. Now, do you reckon OG are comfortable getting Bristleback super tanky? They've got Ember Spirit doing decently as well.
They are looking for that Aghanim Scepter timing, pretty similar to what Team Liquid did to them yesterday in game number 1. Because like once you play against Bristleback a couple of games, you also know how to play against it and how to play with it. In queue, ready to go.
Straight on to Seb. Shaker, fissured and sharded out. Halbert smashes there. Give him a couple of punches from the Tusk. Does get off his wand. A little bit of healing for Seb, but
not allowing him to use Echo Slam. Yesterday in game against Liquid, I don't think we saw a single Echo Slam from Seb. He also didn't go for a Blink Dagger. I guess that's why. If you don't plan to use Echo Slam, you don't even need a Blink Dagger. For Shard, wanted to get Octarine Core later on, but the game kind of ended before that.
Actually, he was playing the outskirts of the fight constantly, wasn't he? Just sitting in the shadows.
Yeah, the problem with the Blink, the problem with the Earthshaker is you need 2-3 minutes of free farming, and right now it becomes very difficult for you to get that.
Takes far too long. BZM down to half HP. Q and Yi. On the run back, Ember Spirit's still scary when he's got his mana pool up. Wants to continue farming towards the Maelstrom. You do still have Seb here getting a bit of farm time. Gets given the mid lane. While Yuragi taking that bottom tier 1. Ench. Straight onto the bristle. The mass TPs arriving from LGD.
That's a spirit
Uragi,
vessel.
yeah, caught out here with a spin coming through from Arme. Yes, Uragi will kill the Tusk, but with the vessel on him, he should be dead here with a couple more touches. Oh,
Nothing
no,
wrong here.
The creeps come in. Faithbian does claim the kill in the end.
Play balanced, perfectly balanced hero. Took 4 heroes to kill him, plus a spirit vessel. He manages to get a return kill and barely dies. If that was Aghanim Scepter, he kills all of them.
Yeah, he demolished them all. He was alone down there completely. And he got the tower as well, didn't he?
He got that tower, yeah.
Radiant.
Sam spotting the Ench. Yeah, kill that ghost. Finish it off. BZM and Tiger. Yeah, don't want to commit on a level 6 Enchantress. Would take far too long for very little reward.
Good positioning from Y, being able to break the smoke and keep Juggernaut alive. Now Juggernaut is recovering. He does have that Maelstrom, so gonna continue to farm up. Going for this new build on Jug, where you get the full Mjolnir, you get the Shard as well, and then especially against the Bristleback, because there's gonna be a lot of instances of damage. Same goes for Viper, even Ember Spirit Shield, so it's gonna proc a lot.
I mean, we've seen another kind of shift in this build as well, with the Hand of Midas coming out on Jug a couple of times. You're not a fan?
I feel like every single time I see this Midas on Jug, it feels a little underwhelming, because this is also your farming tool. Sure, it gives you attack speed, it does give you like some extra XP,
yeah.
So the talents are pretty good when you go for Blade Fury Duration, Blade Fury DPS as well. You want to get to that like level 15, level 20. You get that earlier, but I still feel that's just my opinion. Probably I'm wrong, but I feel Maelstrom full Mjolnir is much better and much efficient.
Like 95% of the time, just get the Maelstrom instead. Oh, mate, like you said, towards that Mjolnir. Plenty of free time for him to farm away and try and catch up to the Bristleback, who had all those stacks made for him. D right now, though, playing into dire vision. Tiger and BZM holding the high ground, but Cottle dead inside the shards. Now the Toxin's out there, though, and the poison attacks from ATF clears through the Tusk. Don't know if they can catch BZM. Looks like Yee. Yeah, being hounded by Uragi. The big punches coming out of the Bristleback with his bonus damage, while Faithbian finished off by BZM in the back. So 3 for 1 there. LGD, again, playing into dire vision with no vision of their own.
A little too deep there. Also, they were really spreaded, so no curse coming in, no clutch curse. Juggernaut also bottom. If they need extra damage, Juggernaut definitely needs to join, and we can see some damage numbers coming out from Viper, and also 1800 damage from Ember Spirit.
Another curse though, and another solo kill attempt. BZM, a couple of 100 HP away from death. One more stun, one more hero there, he would have been done for. That's no curse on cooldown. Still more time for OG here to hit these item timings. TPM, the snowball in though. They want Sam real bad. Finish off the Earthshaker with a snap decision from LGD. Ice Shards also blocking Tiger away, but BZM of course has that remnant to safely slide up to the high ground.
OG still needs 500 gold to finish Aghanim Scepter and Bristleback, then they're gonna be ready to go. And also Keeper of the Light, level 7, about to hit level 8, Chakra Magic will be maxed out, then you can play with both Ember Spirit, replenish his abilities, and also Bristleback. So you're gonna have it all the time. Ooh.
Look at this Viper gun. Yeah, destroying them. You know, 1v2 basically. Jinkyu finally dies. The nature though bounces back across ATF. Goes off the Viper while Tiger trapped inside all the demons, but the Fisher and the find from Seb and BZM. Now Faithbian, any stuns to come, they just get the damage instead.
This Observer Ward on the high ground, revealing enough to say he didn't want to use Bottle straight away, and they blow him up, and they're going to do the same thing to Enchantress.
The bristle damage! He's doing 400 damage a hit, it's only 17 minutes in.
That's Aghanim Scepter for you.
4 heroes gone, and Amar, the only real casualty of war there for OG. At what point do you start wondering, you know, should Arme be joining these fights, or is it okay for him to be off in these side lanes farming to his
He's
first
waiting for
item?
Mjolnir, needs 2 gold, literally 2 gold to be able to get it, and yeah, his next item seems to be SNY against Earthshaker, against Axe, heroes like that. You want him to break the combo, you want those stuns, disables to last less. Camp stack 12.
Ang dilim.
Wow.
That's the 3K
That's the
net worth lead.
difference.
That's the 3K net worth lead OG has right there. Tiger setting it all up for them.
They also have double force staff on side of OG. By force staff, I mean full pike on Viper. So this Tusk, whenever he tries to go on someone or block it with the shards, it's gonna be very difficult. They can also push people out of the Sprout and yeah.
Or over a Fisher.
Yeah, or that. OG thinking about Roche next.
Yeah, all grouping up around the pit. Faith Beyond didn't have a tree in there, so he sees a couple of them coming. Uragi not bothered at all. Just stands his ground, batters away at Roshan, while LGD, if they want to contest this, they've got to start scrambling quickly. Arme still down bottom though, doesn't seem like he really wants to get involved. Give this first Roshan to OG and to an overfarmed Bristleback as well.
They're well aware of it, but don't want to commit. Ame, gonna TP top.
Dire's bottom tower is
Now he
under
comes
attack.
in. They're pinging top. Looks like they want Seb again, but they actually move in towards
Oh,
BTM.
double force staff.
Gets him over the Roche pit away from the Omni Slash. Now the snowball back. Q will punch into Seb, trying to finish off the Earthshaker, but the Echo Slam, no. Holds him out, but still dies. Arme, found though, needs the curse to keep this Uragi Bristle at bay. BCM on a chase, but running low in terms of mana, just has a sleight of fist and a few jumps left. Uragi's first life will be removed.
PSG.LGD, they're very happy how this played out. Only gonna lose Jin Q.
Yeah, taking Aegis away from Bristleback just for that one death. Perfectly fine for them, especially when you've got an Aegis Prophet. Look at how quickly he's down in the bottom lane.
Forcing a rotation. They have a little bit of a global presence there. And Vibrant also with Boots of Travel. They're waiting for their next set of items. They want Vibrant to have Aghanim Scepter, Nature's Prophet to have BKB, and also Tusk to have a Blink Dagger. Because right now, every single time Jin Q goes in, he's dead. With the snowball, if he needs to commit, he's gonna die to overwhelming damage from Viper or Bristleback.
Good TP from Tiger. Yeah, there's nothing to stop him, is there?
Warriors of the wood.
Now Faith Beyond out of vessel charges.
My beautiful daughter.
A little bit sad, a bit spooky against the Bristleback as well. That's one of your primary tools to deal with him. So they'll need to get some kills in the vicinity of Faith Beyond to get those
Radiant's bottom
charges
tower
back
is
up.
under attack.
Now Mara attacks pretty quickly, hey? Bring out these poison
Double raid band, full pike.
with a Vambrace as well, yeah. Tiger just doing his job as the Cottle, sitting in lanes, clearing out waves, delaying any kind of pressure that the Prophet is trying to mount in any of these side lanes.
About to buy shard, so he will be able to bring an extra person and punish whoever's trying to split push.
Oh, great, yeah. The ability to bring BZM around, you know, remnants plus that recall. Incredible mobility. Coming out of OG. Arme, what is he? Got his Yasha, so halfway into that Sanjin Yasha. Too far behind the Bristleback overall in net worth. Doesn't feel like he's had the same amount of impact just yet. Maybe as we scale and move into late game, that will pick up.
They tried to kill the momentum with taking Aegis off Uragi. Uragi also adjusting his item build, going for Lotus Orb on himself to be able to, if there's a snowball, there's Omni Slash, good curse, removing both Arc Burn and Witchblade. It's a really good pickup. I see a lot of Bristlebacks not wanting to buy it because they...
You want BKB?
Yeah, you want BKB, but if your team is not gonna buy it, especially in a situation like this, you need to get it for yourself.
That makes a lot of sense. That's a great grab for him. Faith Beyond trying to find little pockets on the map where there's no OG vision and no heroes that can catch him. Spam out some treants, try and cut the waves. Delay, delay, delay. The tactics from LGD. Buy as much time as they possibly can. It looks like they are angling towards that top jungle though, as they can connect with Faith Beyond, play into that single observer ward they have out on the map. And there's the wave cutting to try and open things up for them as well. Curious to see what OG's reaction to this is. You know, if you see a Prophet wave cutting, then showing in the top lane properly. Are you going to bring heroes up here to kill him?
They want Seb. or if they can find Amar. But Amar might be a bit too difficult to kill with not enough lockdown, and they go and Sep. He doesn't have his Yule Scepter available yet. We'll try to go for the Fisher, but yeah, TP out. Oh, a bit of a grave there.
I hold Jinkyu in place. Now the Toxin and the damage from Viper stacks up. Yee slapped down from half HP. One swipe from Yuragi. Close to 500 damage per hit. Untouchable. Be damned, says the Bristleback.
Yeah, he probably stole like 1 or 2 CS from nothing to say.
Oh, and BZM with Tiger. Down bottom lane, finds Faith Beyond.
This is why Shard is so good, but especially pre-BKB. I think he had BKB, yeah, on courier flying to him, but didn't get it on time.
And that felt like a pretty nicely executed kind of bait, you know, trap set by LGD. They cut the wave, they move up, they smoke, they set up and ready for it. OG, you know, seemingly falling for the bait with Seb a little bit, but reacting perfectly to catch LGD on the retreat.
Also, one thing to point out about itemization in Yuragi, usually you don't buy phase boots on Bristleback, you want to keep the brown boots, but since you're playing against Nature's Prophet and his Shard, that's the way to get out of the Sprout, because you cut down the tree, the big tree spawns, and then you get through with phase boots.
Ah, yeah, that's a clever adaptation. You can no longer just buy a Quelling or have Battle Fury late game. I remember the days of Sven's buying Battle Fury against Nature's Prophet. Now you've got these shards, things much more difficult. Like you mentioned, right, the double force staff always going to help you out as well. And to start coming up for the Viper next.
Dire using a scan. They know something is up. It was probably BZM because he wanted to refill his bottle. It's only Y who picked up the haste rune.
Yeah, BZM there and towards nothing to say. Aghanim Scepter coming up for the Winter Wyvern, and same story for the Ember Spirit, as they've both got the Yangs queued up.
I'll take that.
But is this a common build on the Viper, by the way? You know, the Wraith Band Treads, Hurricane Pike, all makes a lot of sense. Going Manta into, I believe I saw Blink,
E-Blade.
Yeah.
Amar thinks differently. It's great against the Wyvern because he can save people, close the gap. He can save people against the Juggernaut, ulti as well. So making game very annoying for PSG.LGD. That's what he's doing, just being Amar.
Manta against Omni Slash, against Spirit Vessel as well. So it's not really like a Viper build, it's just him buying items for the game itself.
Exactly. BZM, they're going him.
Can they kill him though? He's out of there. Ember Spirit.
Very limited with stuns. They needed some kind of silence. Maybe we're talking about tier 4 items potentially. There's not going to be Orchid, but that you know, those tier 4 items, it's going to take a while until they kick in. By tier 4, I mean tier 3, and yeah, we'll have to see what happens, because right now it's very difficult for them to just go on Ember Spirit, especially with this Lincoln Sphere. So he is protected against the Winter's Curse, and now with the Blink Dagger finally picked up on Tusk, it's a little easier for them to go in, and also that's going to be another way of saving people. Fade Beyond, TPing top, wants to get some split push going.
Yeah, it's just been a beautiful flow from OG's game. You know, LGD have been relatively passive, making quite telegraphed moves, but every time OG sees an initiation or a gank coming out of LGD, they are there with 4 or 5 heroes ready for this big teamfight brawl. And then you can equally say LGD very good at reading the necessity to retract from these situations, get back to a defensive posture, but I'm just not quite sure when that spark moment's going to be, when LGD are fully ready to match up against OG. A second Roshan potentially coming up soon. 2 minutes until he spawns. Could be the next flashpoint for them. As Yi on this high ground in his own triangle, Fisher's flying out left and right. And Arme forced to spin quite early on here. Yuragi.
No Omni Slash, he does not want to commit.
They have to fall back, you're right. And it's just OG poking and prodding, consistently forcing LGD to fall back and retreat from every fight.
If Ame had ulti available, he would definitely go in and try to commit, because he potentially can delete one hero, but we've seen what happened before. Double force staff, get him out of the trouble if one is not enough, and now they're chasing. Taiga does have force staff available, but gonna drop, and he also lost the gem.
Oh, he did as well, you're right. Gem on the floor, buyback from the Keeper of the Light. Roshan 1 minute away, but BZM still moving forward, has to play towards nothing to say. The Lincolns is popped. And Amar going for the TP out. Snowball and the curse will cancel it out. There's the Omni Slash in the back on the BZM, and Uragi takes them low, but no kill coming through for him as Amar dies on the staircase. LGD hold this triangle, and Seb, the next casualty here, will get the Echo Slam out, but still dies for his trouble. Faith Beyond coming out with a double kill, and 40 seconds until Roshan respawns. Unlucky for LGD.
Not ideal for them, but a great way to approach the fight. They isolate, first they proc the Lincolns on Ember Spirit with the enchant, and why he's not afraid. He's in the front lines, being able to tank, soak up all that damage is like, yep, just go on me. I want to bait some spells, potentially, like get the Lotus Orb out, but yeah, just way they're spread around, and in the end the Echo lands, but everyone else is way too far away. Seb trying to farm up his Blink Dagger, does have a Philly Stone, so that's going to help out quite a lot.
Oh yeah. Yule's into Blink. Himself some good items going for himself. He's the most farm support in the game, and with a console on your team, that's honestly quite surprising. Usually the Keeper of the Light is the one that transfers into the position of 3, basically, but he is the hard fight here as Taiga.
When Seb is playing for OG with the new squad,
oh yeah,
Taiga is kind of playing 5.
Kneels before his liege. Uragi unable to defend his tower. Faith Beyond will take it down with his treants. And Roshan scouted now by both teams. Alpha Wolf, the Earthshaker, pop heads around the corner.
There's also a new set of items for PSG.LGD in the next minute or two. We're talking about Scotty on Juggernaut, and also Nature's Prophet with the full AC. So that's going to tank up the whole squad against the Bristleback, against the minus armor. Inside the pit they go.
Yeah, and LGD have all their tier 3 neutrals as well, while OG only has one of them. Not farming out the neutral camps, instead trying to chip away at Roshan. First hit bash, Abyssal Blade there. Good damage onto Arme, needs the healing
only
ward.
for 2 seconds.
Back up comes in the form of Yigi's Enchantress as well, so plenty of heals for Arme.
Fabian instantly goes to the top lane, trying to get some farm up. Has enough to buy full AC. Let's see if he commits.
Well, he's
pushing, going for it.
Pushing bot with Treants, pushing top with Hero, gets his AC, he's all over the place.
This percentage-based damage, like Bristleback's never gonna feel too comfortable coming into a fight. He's in.
BZM straight in. Fisher comes with a full save, buys time for LGD to maybe turn the fight around, but the two supports now on the low ground. Pummeled down by Amar and BZM.
Double buyback.
Here comes the Ember again with the DD rune going. They're focusing, nothing to say. They're splitting, trying to get away from this Winner's Curse potential, and they get the kill as well. A double for the Vipers. Arme does pick up BZM. Spinning back to high ground, and the curse arriving onto Tiger. The buyback from nothing to say gets them one bonus kill. Controlling Roshan, and this is a zone around it. Amar jumped and punched by Jinkyu, snowball forward. What can Uragi do? Low swarm in on him, but Arme is clearing up in the back lines. He's spun towards victory.
No buybacks coming out from them. No buyback on Ember Spirit. PSG.LGD, they're heavily committing. They want to secure this Roshan. They understand how important it is playing against the Bristleback. So only one who bought back on their side is Seb, and maybe Taiga bought back as well.
Taiga did 3 minutes ago, yeah.
So this is a free Roshan. A lot of commitment. They will give this Aegis to Wyvern because Ahmed doesn't feel like he's gonna die. So far, he didn't die a single time. And there's also a shard, so that's gonna be picked up by Wyvern as well.
That's a great shard upgrade. Splinter Blast coming out. Those cold embraces. Yeah, another very split fight, but the fact that LG basically just hold their high ground, have that terrain advantage, and a triple buyback, you know, definitely helped out too.
Nothing to say, got heavily focused here by Amar. He used all of his mana with Fisher, also forcing a buyback. Nothing to say, we'll buy back and get a kill on Viper, but it's a lot of commitment, and one of the reasons why he is going for BKB, because that corrosive skin causing him a lot of issues.
And compounding the problems for OG.
Yeah, look at this, 2 dragons fighting against each other.
Then Tusk comes in and ruins the duel. Not a 1v1 anymore. And yeah, compounding the issues for OG was the fact that, like we said prior to that fight, Faith Beyond had pushed out both of the side lanes, so they're able to get themselves out on the map incredibly quickly. Sprout Lee, just talent now up
That's
for him.
That's a big one.
Ember
That's
Spirit.
a huge against the Ember Spirit.
And finally, some tier 3 items from OG coming out of those neutral camps. anything particularly. Profit, always very nice to see.
Earthshaker also does have a Psychic Headband for quite some time and finally has a Blink Dagger. So we might see a better Echo, a better opener. There's also a lot of stuff on the ground, like you can just cancel the Blink Dagger with one Mjolnir proc. It does have a Blink Dagger.
It does, yeah. I mean, that Blink Echo, potentially the tool they need against Arme, right? Pre-spin, they get the Blink Echo, chain stun onto him. But they don't have that many tools to keep the disables going before he can get Omni Slash out. This Earthshaker plus the Bristle's Abyssal Blade, really. That's the primary ways.
Yeah, it's called a Bristle Blade.
Bristle Blade. I should have seen that one. I should have seen that one coming, honestly. Oh, jeez.
And now Nature's Prophet going for a little bit of a scale, getting that of Atos to be able to control Ember Spirit, who's not having a BKB. This Lincoln Sphere is not going to protect you against everything, so he might still swap things around. If he wins the fight, he's definitely not going to go for it. Why? In trouble.
And straight in, jump from BZM, spin out from Armor, and the Healing Ward, plus Nature's Attendance. We've seen this from laning stage all the way through to now 33 minutes in, giving such a beautiful amount of basically burst heal at this point. But BZM and Uragi, they really won this year Enchantress, so they've got the Cold Embrace now, adding to their heal. Spin out from Arme, he'll find Tiger on the right side, and BZM, and he's dropping pretty low, might have to skip away from this fight. Still wants the Enchantress, while Uragi BKB'd and run himself back with the spired legs.
Arme's ready to jump in with a Blink Dagger.
Oh, they could curse him maybe here if they pop the Lincolns. BZM out, the rest of them TP as well.
That's Sprout. Arme was ready to go in on Bristleback because he knew Lotus Orb was still on cooldown. Blocked off Arme, he couldn't pass through, and Bristleback lives in the end. OG losing momentum. They were 10k gold ahead, and with the Bristleback lineup, having all these counters for him. We're talking about Arctic Burn, percentage-based damage, tag team is maxed out for a long time ago. Nature's Prophet does have a Spirit Vessel, and the Juggernaut, he can man-fight him now.
Yeah, tons of damage with the Skadi as well. Reducing that heal, slowing him, kiting him. The shift in win probability there we just saw. Very big for LGD as that net worth gap decreases further and further. It feels quite similar to what we saw from Asta yesterday as well, you know, against these earlier timing-based drafts and strategies coming out of some of the European teams. A couple of these Chinese teams, Asta and LGD, very good at understanding that if they delay the game just, 10 minutes.
And they know exactly how to delay the game. They went in, took the first Aegis where you want to take out all the tier 2 towers with the Bristleback lineup, potentially go for the high ground if you find an opening, but they didn't. They took that Aegis immediately, only losing Jin Q, and then game kind of shifted towards PSG.LGD. Even though it says 1k gold lead for OG, game's getting more and more difficult.
Yeah, absolutely is. And it's not just completely passive play either, right? LGD were taking fights on the enemy side of the map. We think about 15, 20 minutes in when they were playing top jungle. Even though they were losing these fights, they were still forcing OG to respond in situations and areas of the map that don't really favor them or give them an advantage. They weren't allowed to get close to the Radiant base and do what they do best.
Look what Y has queued up.
What is
36 minutes in. He's like, do I need to be more tanky? I'm getting a bracer.
All right. Yeah, just a cash bracer. He's got a blast rake, fluffy hat.
And they're also pushing out the waves with a lot of different stuff. Nature's Prophet ulti, TPing, then using Nature's Call, Y with his creep, and also Juggernaut using Mjolnir on a creep wave. So OG's never close to their base.
Yeah, just getting repelled across the river. They will smoke us 4 though. I want to make a meal out of this. Get a proper team fight going. And taking control of that Radiant Triangle, incredibly important for this Dire squad to access these tier 2s, access the enemy base.
Gleipnir
vision down.
Done on Nature's Prophet. That means you don't care about Lincolns on Ember Spirit. And he changed his mind. He understands after seeing that Road of Atos that he will need to be able to protect himself. Very close. He needs another creep wave to buy that BKB.
He's got a couple up top to clear out. There's the BKB done, but LGD once more straight up into top jungle, forcing a fight in OG's territory. BKB forced from the bristleback. And LGD, they go in, they poke, they come back out. Now they can think about round 2 if they spot someone out.
Baiting a BKB from bristleback, that's big.
Faith Beyond, well, he's thinking about TPing forward there. Saw on the mini-map.
Yeah, killing the courier. Deep in value. Kill the courier, die.
Yeah, just go in, get the job done. Don't care about the consequences.
Juggernaut hit level 25, something that we didn't mention. One of the best talents and the most fun one. Plus 475 HP. Very cool.
It's like the Spectre talents, isn't it? Like plus 5% dispersion, plus 500 HP.
That's a cool talent.
Yeah,
but this is just like straight. This is 25. It's straight up raw HP.
Here's your health, buddy.
Double damage bottom.
What is that? It's like 15% of his total health when he free talent. Pen to edge sword now for him. DD bottled, basher and backpack. Arme has overtaken the bristleback in net worth. A real true carry in this game. Roshan still at least 20 seconds away from spawning. But LGD get the D ward. Very important there from Yi to make sure there is limited to no vision for OG around the pit.
And still protecting their own ward. On the high ground, this is what gave them vision in the previous fight to get that BKB. On cooldown for bristleback, which is down to 7 seconds now.
Yeah, looks like Tiger did rebuy a gem, as the Enchantress had stolen his previously. But this is where LGD want to be. Just waiting for OG to come. And yeah, 5 seconds for Roche to pop back up. Ninja gear for nothing to say. Can't be found. And with Roshan alive and scouted by LGD, they're just going to waltz into the pit and take it.
Double damage on Jug, does have a basher as well. OG, they know this is happening, but how fast can they get here?
Not fast enough. There's no way they can traverse across the map quickly enough to get there. And they've given away their positioning there with a remnant chucked out by the Ember. They do get a bit of vision now on the map.
Aghanim Scepter now also done on Juggernaut, so having that Swift Slash, or a Mini Slash that I like to call it. Just an extra tool to potentially like get some damage done and also get the bash during the BKB, beta Force Staff.
Save yourself from an Earthshaker jump in as well. Re-grab that outpost down bottom. Oh mate, he spots a small gap, so he'll go farm it.
Sebastian buying book for himself, wants to hit that level 20, extra Fisher range.
Oh, are we on first name terms now, are we?
Yeah, this is Sebastian.
Yeah.
Very close to level 20. That he can keep the distance then and not be found by Nature's Prophet. It's going to be all about using that Fisher multiple times.
He's leashed.
The leash.
Have they got enough to kill him? He's got BKB.
But the
Lincoln's popped. Still got the slight and the jump. Wait.
Regeneration.
BKB utilized by BZM though. And he's got the flicker as well. But then comes the catapult wave with Arme. They're under vision, but we'll see what Seb can do here. He does have the ability to jump in and go, just launches a Fisher at them, while Amar focuses in towards the Enchantress for a little bit.
One Fisher, one blast from Keeper of the Light. Whole wave pretty much on bottom lane. Fate Beyond.
Oh, the chain stuns. He gets the spin out. Sound and Yasha there allowing him to get out of that continual disable.
They saw Fate Beyond deeping bottom. They're like, we have 15 seconds. We'll try to poke, see what happens.
Ooh, they're looking for BZM here. Faith Beyond invis. Oh, Jinq couldn't get the punch in time, but BZM might still get jumped upon. He's used his flicker already, trying to remnant and jump away. The big old snowball, not going to catch him. Does get shard blocked in though. One remnant remains. Incredibly slow BZM Ember Spirit, trying to retreat.
They might still be able to catch him.
I think they might just have him. Flickers off a nice little dispel there, but in comes Faith Beyond again with a Sprout. Leash him up and catch the Ember Spirit. Down he goes, while Juggernaut has managed to disengage from the rest of OG.
And still holding that Aegis. Will pick up Arcane Rune. Ame, he wants to jump in. They chased him down for a very long time, forcing him to use all remnants. Does have buyback if necessary. Still, 2 minutes left on Aegis. I want to see PSG.LGD go for the high ground. Go for the high ground, get fissured, get blasted by Keeper of the Light, stop.
Get Blink Echo.
Yeah.
They want to take this very, very slowly and deliberately. There's still a tier 2 bottom that they can claim. No need to irrationally shove up high ground. You do have the Jug with spin that can do a pretty good job here, but the Lotus Orb bounces the Swift Slash back onto him. He'll look towards Tiger with a Mjolnir. Static charge bouncing in.
With the big one.
Kills off Seb as well, and now the only Slash, the real one. Uragi killed off. Buybacks galore from OG. 4 of them returning to the battlefield, while Arme still has that Aegis. Seb is in towards nothing to say, but he's eating the cheese and gets the BKB out as well. LGD are able to reset while Uragi charges forward. Another Fisher out. Tusk stunned up with a bash too, so a couple of kills from OG in there.
Can he get out?
The retreat out for LGD successful.
This is perfect for PSG.LGD. Getting 4 buybacks out and also losing only 2 supports who have buybacks one more time. Big damage from Juggernaut.
Yeah.
7,000 almost. We like to round up the numbers, but yeah, he went in, forced that Lotus Orb, used the Swift Slash, and then when the Lotus Orb was gone, goes in with the full Omni.
And still has Aegis for a minute. Don't think they'll be able to use it for another.
He's ready to go.
High ground push, the side device, the Lincoln's part to BZM, he's dead. 2 minutes with no Emma Spirit now.
Oh, Uragi's here. Still 30 seconds left on Aegis. Rest of the team is trying to connect.
He's just going to continue fighting this though, Uragi. Chases back Arme, the Abyssal Blade comes. Aegis, yes, is there to be reclaimed. Seb wanting Faith Bian, who TP'd in to his BKB, gives him the safety, and the Fisher blocked away Uragi, so no bashes could come.
Also,
Spin
final
out.
legs were not ready.
ATF. Lotus Orb on him. Scardy Slow's annoying, but Faith Bian is going to look, he's just deep in around from high ground to low ground. Look at me, I'm over here, I'm over there, and ATF jumped upon by Arme. I have nothing to say. Well, White does get the finishing blow on him. So 2 heroes dead for a minute and a half now, and OG in a 4v3.
Yeah, no buyback on Viper, does not have enough gold, and also Ember Spirit did buy back in the previous fight. Nature's Prophet did hit level 25, so you know that all lanes are going to be pushed. And also this Sight of Vice pickup, plus the Trickster's Cloak, so he can initiate from Invis, whether we're talking about the Sprout, Gleipnir, or Sight of Vice, the Leech Mechanic, and the OG. They do have Fisher one more time, but that's about it.
Just don't forget about Blink Echo. That's the one thing that LGD have to have at the forefront of their minds.
It's very difficult. He goes in with the Blink Dagger, Snowball Save, or just a casual Force Tap. Ame wants to finish the game.
Yeah, they want these tier 4s. They know there's no Viper, no Ember. 30, 40 seconds on the sidelines for them. And he goes in with a quick Swift Slash and a spin. Oh, Uragi, down you go. So quickly falling to this Juggernaut's right-click damage. Still alive with his BKB and Ame
ready to jump with Omni.
Oh, yeah, Army. He comes in with a basher, clears up 2 more kills, and that's OG down and out. They will get the Yules up. Seb cyclones himself, but there is no safety from this LGD side.
Gary, did you just call it Omni Slash?
Omni Slash, I did indeed. Thank you for noticing.
Yeah, it was a good one. In the end, a bit too difficult. They needed to close out this game.
Easy for LGD. Too easy for LGD. Grabe boy. Basta din si ano rito. Ano ba to? Nana?
Come get healed.
GG ang OG first game.
The spider comes.
Yeah, I'm here.
Easy now.
All paths find serenity. Carry forth the flame. What must be discovered? Lost within the maelstrom. Balance in all things. Wondrous Black King Paw. flame lights the way. What dangers lie here? A journey without end. The way is clear. Be wary, be cautious. Burn forth, my friend. I am Ember Spirit. All action is reaction. The stalwart flame flickers. Harmony. Chained in searing heat. Destiny beyond your way. Captured in the flame. Be ensnared and bonded, you and I. Walker. Who's that scorching fellow? Behold my searing chains.
We're already looking for more.
Hurry to the fray. I am not ready. It must be done.
Okay, boys.
Just OG some of the issues they had when early game. What contributed to that, do you feel?
Second
I think they
game.
wanted to play around Aegis timings, and so they didn't force anything stupid. Because if you run it like a tier 2 tower and the enemy is set up for it, you do like throw the game on that type of move. So we talked before in the last panel, yeah, they go to Roche, they take the first Roche, but then when they try and take an engagement after that, feeling strong, they actually manage to kind of poke and take their Aegis in exchange for only a Tusk's life, which is terrible. So they're like, okay, we'll wait for second Roche, and they are in that Roche as soon as it respawns ready. But LGD are farmed at that point because that's what Armay does. He has farm, so they're able to contest, they're able to take that fight, and they kind of lose off the back of that. And when they aren't able to get the second Roche, that's when they kind of like fall apart. They don't make aggressive moves. If you watch them that game, it felt like they were playing on their side of the map a lot. It never felt like they were playing for objectives the same way that LGD was. There were smokes that were made, but they usually resulted in like skirmishes that never went either team's way.
Do you think that is a result of the heroes drafted? Or do you really think that they had the ability to be enabled that way and they just couldn't do it against LGD?
Maybe there could have been more creativity to try and take objectives, like outside of Aegis.
For me, it's a bit of both, though, because like you look at some of the heroes that have like Viper Bristles, your side lane core is not very mobile, no catch, Shaker support. We talked already about the issues with Shaker. Like those three heroes, I'm just like, yeah, that's not really. Who's making like Ember? Sure, great. That's the idea. That's why they lost like Ember to plug that gap. That was like glaringly missing, but it just wasn't enough.
Alright, but like, just quickly, because I know the draft started.
I was gonna say we are moving through the draft real quick.
Very last point.
Yeah, sure.
They did have like the Bristle was very strong. He went the Lotus Orb, and I thought that
Sabay na
after
tayo,
that, they would kind of force the issue because he got a lot of armor from the Lotus. It protects him against like the Omni Slash if he gets initiated on, and you could go like Shard on Viper, and that allows you to take towers because it lets you use the Viper spit on the tower and take them that way.
Hopefully I was gonna say, hopefully we see a little bit of a different OG, and we already are, because this draft, their opening is the Marcy Puck. They get their hands on the Puck. They have moved it up to a first phase priority, right? Because Puck got banned last game, but it was one of the last bans LGD had for it. LGD? OG. Either way, it was banned in the last phase. Now OG are able to pick it up, and they put it in first phase priority.
Who got first pick? Let me just check.
Razor. LGD.
Okay, cool, yeah. So Void Spirit is a hero that a lot of teams tend to
I love how I mentioned
favor.
Marcy Puck, and you're like, okay, this Razor.
No, I'm saying in response to the Puck. In response to the Puck, a lot of teams favor Void Spirit. We saw it a lot in Tour 3. Why are you laughing at me? I swear to God, you want to fight?
No, I love you. I'm sorry.
So Marcy Puck is good.
No, please, guys, no, take the floor.
No, please tell me the void.
I don't feel appreciated here.
Oh, we got some player cans. You can see all of OG huddling around.
I was going to talk about mid matchups, but no, I don't think I will anymore.
No, I want you to. We haven't talked about this draft at all, and we're almost to the second phase bans. Just take the wheel, sheep, whatever you want to talk about.
Nope.
Please.
Okay, so yeah, this is a hero that's favored against Puck, just because it gives you a lot of ways to catch him. If you go the Yules, you can set up into the Remnant that the Puck can't dodge with phase shift. You can get the Ags, which is silence. It basically makes Puck's life hard in a way where he can't just go very aggressive items. He'll probably still get the Witchblade, but that does put him at risk. Obviously, other heroes are like Dragon Knight that people like, but it's up to team preference. I personally really like Void Spirit here.
Okay. I want to yourself, Gods. Whose opening are you favoring a little bit more prior to seeing the IO?
I think slightly PSG.LGD. They got their first pick, and they used it to. I mean, typically the team with first pick, you should have the better opener. You get the first pick of the overall draft. So if there's a must pick hero, like in this case Razor, you get that, and then you get the kind of response to enemy's opener. So I think PSG.LGD have used first pick well. It's going to come down to now how OG respond in this phase of the draft. I think getting the IO here puts them in a good position. You get a comfort here for Seb, and it means that draft can go many directions, which makes it kind of tricky for LGD to pick heroes here.
Do you think they're going to look for their carry hero pick as the last pick for this phase, get the IO pairing together?
For OG?
For OG, yes.
probably depends a bit on what LGD pick. I think it's going to come down to like what they're worried about getting banned out, because they get the last pick of this phase and the next. In the past, they're happy to use last pick on Mars here. They did that last time they played LGD with a last pick Husker, for example. So I think
and that won them the game.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so BM.
We're going to show you how to win the shaker.
I've taken the shaker.
Oh man.
This is ultimate now, though. We're gonna see if this Earthshake is gonna stay at a 0% win rate.
I hope OG winner. I'm gonna look really dumb. I just spent the last like 5 minutes shitting on Shaker.
And I pulled it up. I looked
You're
at
like,
it.
but what about this?
I look so good now.
Please lose LGD, please.
Alright, but it's gonna be a +4. That's like the big thing. This 10 is gonna be a 5.
Yeah, it was +4 last game too, though. Even though Seb was playing.
Okay, I just wouldn't really agree.
I mean, EG played at +4.
How was it not +4 last game?
He was pretty poor.
It played in the offlane. He had like 8k net worth to the 5k net worth on the.
Okay, fine. You're right. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, gods. I'm sorry. I'm just feeling aggressive since you guys ganged up on me.
Well, we didn't gang up on you. It was just me. I'm sorry. Please.
No, it's okay.
Forgive me.
Sorry. Let me move on. All right. So, I was thinking about OG's first 3 heroes, and I do think they're like really strong, because right now you have 2 heroes that are very good at catch in the Puck and Marcy, and then you have an IO that can bring another hero in. So if anywhere you are on the map, if you're able to find someone, you can collapse on that very quickly, and I think that's really great. Not only that, but you do have like all these buffs with the IO overload charge, whatever, and the Marcy's like rebound and sidekick and all this stuff. So you have the ability here to pick a very strong core that can just like man up and do so much, and I think that's really good. I like LGD's response though, because if you do get core by this combo, you now can nullify the damage with the Chen heal, and that's going to be really good. Also, I think, is it Chen Ags that applies a strong dispel on his ult? Because late game shenanigans, that could be extremely powerful. It just snap the coil and then all are healed.
It's like it didn't even happen.
Yeah.
All right, the Husk is coming out earlier.
That's the big
They
boy.
realize it's probably going to be banned next. Do you feel that OG's going for a different tempo, a different playstyle now, seeing these 4 heroes compared to game 1?
It feels like they already, I think, fixed some of the playstyle. The Puck Marcy, to me, was their way to kind of address what happened in game 1, where it's like, we need more playmaking, we need ways to set the tempo ourselves. And then, yeah, they pick cores around it that are going to be, problematic. Like Husker has these great Roche timings, it's just a lane dominator, it's like the kind of fits the Amar like semi-carry from the offlane, and it's a hero that, you kind of have to address in some ways. Like, I don't really feel like PSG.LGD have the damage or tools to kill a Husker right now.
Yeah.
So.
Like last game, what I really liked about the response to Earthshaker was they picked heroes that can fight early, and they did do that on LGD. They ran a lot at OG pre like their Ember Maelstrom and their Bristle Ags. And this game, I see the same sort of response from OG. You have a lot of heroes that can run at you before Earthshaker gets his 6, gets his blink, because that's when he's strong. If you're able to like tempo these team fighters, then you're very strong. The only problem is you do have a Razor and a Chen that do kind of fix that timing problem for an Earthshaker.
Is there something that you feel LGD might be lacking then, or is there a standout hero that you think can pull it all together and maybe fill in some of those holes you think LGD has at the moment for their draft?
I think there's a couple directions they can go if they want to like try and sit back and play like the waiting game, like with the pick up a harder carry that doesn't get too beat down by Husker in lane. Alternatively, they can try and match the tempo, play like, Razor safe lane, or even if they're doing a 3-position Razor, pick a carry that is like just not going to take a lot of farm or time to come online. So I'm kind of curious which direction they go. Typically with a Chen draft, you're not looking to play a slower game. You want to have more like a bunch of semi carries that kind of match the tempo of your opponents.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think right now who kills the Huskar.
Yeah.
Any ideas?
I don't know, like...
Yeah.
The thing is, surely they have to have something for this Husker, because like I keep saying, right, the last time these 2 teams faced off, the game that OG won was with that Husker, so surely that was an issue that they felt they needed to look at, potentially address.
Yeah. It's very different because they picked it like into Spectre and stuff that game. Like they had a really good lane, and it wasn't like the Husker solo carried the game or anything. If anything, he actually didn't have the best game compared to some of his teammates. But it was that like Timbersaw thing where it's like you've suddenly got to focus this guy and address him, and as a result, everyone else on the OG side gets all the space in the world to farm and play, to have the best game possible.
Yeah, they can try and do like a wave cutting thing and try and delay to timings, like last game. They can pick. I know, like in the past I've seen Huskar suffer against things like Black Hole. If this was to be a Razor carry, you can just try and kill him in that sort of space. I was going to want to play with him. Maybe you can take advantage of that. They've banned out the Monkey AA. I think those are like pretty decent, solid heroes.
Yeah. AA is a funny ban because like, where does it fit in? They kind of pick their supports, but
Yeah.
they could. Faith Beyond has played Shaker before, so maybe they're thinking they could do like 3 Shaker. It's very much like a hey, we have IO Huskar. Like let's just ban the AA.
Okay. CK is going to be a lot of damage. The only like saving grace is Huskar was gifted the ability of an AoE disarm, which is always lovely. He's also going to potentially buy Halberd and make it a little bit harder for that physical damage to kill him.
And you gotta imagine OG's like, okay, they're using CK as their kind of Huskar answer. Let's address the CK, because this is where OG get that last pick. So I feel like OG's drafted really well, getting the Huskar pick where they didn't, now getting a response to the CK, which you gotta imagine is gonna make CK's life a bit more difficult.
What do you think is a nice response then that's still left in the hero pool and also works with their lineup? Is anything missing from OG's lineup right now?
Is Bristle banned? They could just take another
Bristle, yeah.
They could just have another Bristle.
Is Sven playable?
Sven is, yeah, like Team Spirit love that hero, and I think it's pretty good because, oh well, they're not gonna play it, but so I won't talk about it. But Doom's very cool. As a carry, it's being played a lot by Talon right now. 23 Savage. He's something he played throughout Tour 3 and this tournament. I think he literally just played it.
Believe so.
Yeah.
If not, I know that Doom was played yesterday in the carry role, but I could not tell you who played it.
But I'm loving it. Just as a piece of fact, whatever. People have been playing Doom as carry with like other scaling cores like Enigmas and Visages and stuff. So this fits this draft perfectly. You have a Huskar, so it's it fits in very well as a carry.
Where do you guys feel that this is going to go? How early, late is this game going to end? And which side do you favor just a little bit more based on those timings?
OG for sure.
I'm really liking OG's draft. I don't think it's gonna be super fast paced. Like, I mean, they're gonna make these aggressive moves, but like Huskar, Doom, they're gonna look to farm it up a bit as well. And it's more about like hitting some of these BKB timings later on. And I think that's where suddenly, PSG.LGD just don't have good answers for Huskar or Doom.
Perfect. I'm looking forward to seeing if OG can take it to their right timings and take game number 2 as we head over to Gareth and Lacoste.
Yeah, away we go. LGD sniping out that Shaker, maybe showing Seb how it's done. But Doom and
That's a
Huskar,
ballsy
man.
move. I mean, Earthshaker's so far in the tournament is 0-3.
Yeah.
And this might be the first W. This is last pick Doom into Earthshaker. If you get a good block off and looking at the chase potential from OG, there's like relocate, but that's about it. Maybe Puck, but yeah, you be able to connect on it with the Doom and also position 1 Doom that some teams are playing it. Panel talked about Talon. The other team that comes to my mind is Entity. They really love to run it. And yeah, looking at the other heroes on PSG.LGD, I feel like it's going to be about initiation. If this CK gets the ulti off in the fight, we're talking about like 2-3 extra illusions. Doom's not going to be able to find the target. Also, Huskar doesn't deal too well with it, and this might be a problem. So if Ame, because Ame had a perfect game in the previous one, massive class performance. And also looking at some of the itemization that popped onto my mind, I would love to see Void Spirit with Void Spirit Vessel. That's about it. Because you're playing against Huskar, you're playing against IO.
So many heals.
You want to get that as soon as possible. Shaker's not that hero. Like, you could potentially get it, but you also want to get the different items, and you're not going to be able to get it fast enough. So definitely an item to look out for to be able to shut down the healing. And it's a good matchup. This is a first phase Void Spirit against Puck. So good matchup for Void Spirit overall.
Yeah, so is this Doom? You mentioned a couple of other teams have been playing it. We know Anna was practicing it as well, prior to Riyadh and coming into this event as one of his position 1 heroes. Is this the answer to the kind of LGD Aster delay the game strategy? Is this your scaling potential to match them in late game?
Doom in the late game is pretty insane. We're talking about Hand of Midas, then getting Devour, that extra goal kicking in, Shiva's Guard Refresher, Blink BKB. This is where hero becomes super obnoxious. And the Huskar also in the late game, like, this hero scales super well, so does Puck, so I'm not too worried about OG. I also want to see how Marcy is gonna skill the abilities and also what the item build's gonna be, because I have seen, I've talked to Seb during Riyadh Masters about it, and kind of have the same thinking where if you go and get just like Dispose and what's the other ability called? Rebound. That's a good job, Gary. You're on point. That's why I have you here. You're using like half of your hero, pretty much. Your ulti is for the dispel. You're not dealing damage. I like the style that Jin Q plays.
Like phase BKB.
Phase BKB, Blink Dagger, or phase, just the Blink Dagger, because you can get in and then get out. If you go with just Ether Lens, you go in and you're dead. Also, your scaling is not as good.
You're like a weaker Tiny at that point, right?
Yeah,
if you
pretty much.
Blink Ether Lens build, you just initiation, that's your job done. I think we're ready to
start the game, please, Andy. I'm gonna clap and we're gonna start the game.
Oh, there we go. Game 2. LGD already one game to the good up against OG.
Yeah. The reason why we didn't start is we needed to finish a couple of points, and all 10 players and the production waited until we were done.
Well, when Lacoste talks, you listen. That's the rule number 1 of Dota 2 major events. As we get ourselves towards these bounty runes. Tiger Amar up towards top. Shinkyu and Faith Bian lurking in the shadows.
PSG.LGD stole their heroes. This is Razor, classic Amar hero, and also OG tried to play Earthshaker twice so far in this major. Oh, this is gonna get dewarded. Fade Beyond, getting some extra gold. Never mind, it's Jin Q getting extra gold.
Oh, it was a sentry, wasn't it?
It was his sentry, yes. And he's bringing another one.
Oh. Yeah, go hunt down the vision of OG. And maybe they've got a good idea of that mid lane ward that is pretty shallow near the tier 1. And now towards bot, nothing to say, gets out his Resonant Pulse. Arme here as well. As Faith Beyond, nothing to say, do get a couple of the bounty runes. The 4th one though is BZM's, giving the 2 for 2.
Nothing to say, starting with 20%, 30% HP against BZM. We saw yesterday when BZM first game against Liquid was playing Batrider. That did kind of cost him the lane and also not necessarily the game, but the game was definitely harder. And we see Ramses also coming out from not sure who. How do you know who used the spray?
I don't know. Is the purple outline? No, it can't be. It's nothing to say. He's teal. I don't know. The direction maybe.
Oh yeah, Ramses is attacking Radiant Tower, so that's BZM.
He's pushing forward for it. Static link up top. Shinkyu with a Fisher there as well. Amar trying to get around the side while Tiger's courier should be finished off here by the Earthshaker. Did deliver in that extra bit of regen and a couple of sentries.
Making an adjustment. They want to have Huskar against Razor, where he can still deal damage with his burning spears and also having inner fire, so having that disarm works really well. They can also reposition him once Marcy gets level 2, but still I'm favoring the lane for LGD. I think Razor is one of the heroes that can man up, and also having a Fisher to block him off, and yeah, this is potentially a first blood lane that I'm looking at.
Yeah, it definitely could be.
And it's just kidding, it's not. Now our observers are going to be looking at the top lane a little bit more.
Give Scriff the shakes. Bottom lane, what is it? IO Doom. Tons of sustain coming out of Seb. He's got his wand, Fairy Fire.
Yeah, Sustain.
Sustain, yeah.
Seb did hit level 30 on IO the other day. It's one of the heroes that he has been spamming, so...
Well, he's Master Tier now.
Master Tier, expecting some big things, big relos.
Big tethers. There's a link up top again. You see that, Marcy with the maneuverability just to jump over the Fisher, get away. Yuragi. Oh, he's been pounded by Arme.
Oh, good body block. Like Arme did kind of close the gap.
I can't finish him.
Still gonna be fine. There's still Fairy Fire on IO, and he will be okay. Healing Salve used.
Yeah, plenty. A regen there, and gonna have a ring of regen brought out to Seb as well. No more tangos or salves though, so if we do have another move by LGD to play aggressively, we could find a kill on Seb potentially.
I refuse you.
How's that mid lane going? Even though Nothing to Say had a rough start, like you said, starting 20% health, he's still doing fine. Jinkyu, Fisher blocks them out. Oh, Amar, trapped by the creeps. The Radiant Creep Wave doing their job, keeping Huskar in range for Faith Beyond to get first blood.
And now they have level 3 on Earthshaker, who's gonna have some extra mana from Mangoes, so using a healing salve as well. So an extra layer of physical damage that sometimes you need. So off to a really...
A prize.
bubble from the void. Consider yourself denied. I sense distortions in the void.
Repent. A true warrior never rage quits. False idolatry.
I sense distortions in the void. Denied. Harm unseen.
Radiant should look to their middle tower. There is little hope for
Surrender
Radiant's
all
middle tower.
hope to the void. I sense distortions.
Around.
This couldn't have happened. Discharge.
Wisp. No.
It's a matter of magnitude. Double kill. Dire's bottom tower is in danger.
I die on the field of glory.
Penance. Punished for your sins. is in danger.
There is nothing for you.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Your not truly
Regeneration.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire should look to their top tower. Dire structures are fortified. Radiant should look to their middle tower. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire should look to their bottom tower. Radiant should look to their middle tower. Dire's top tower is under attack.
A prize.
Dire should look to their top tower. Dire's top tower is full.
Stokes the furnace.
Dire should look to their middle tower. Dire have fortified their structures against attack. There is little hope for Dire's
Consider
middle
an
tower.
alternative. I sense distortions in the void.
Dire are scanning for enemies.
My mount falls.
That's for your impertinence.
Bounty.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. There is little hope for Dire's middle tower. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Vanished, but not gone.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom
damage.
Radiant are scanning for enemies. Unbelievable!
Greetings! Silence!
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Misunderstanding!
Dire have fortified their structures against attack. Dire's middle tower is down. Radiant should look to their bottom tower. Dire are scanning for enemies. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is in danger.
Haste.
A prize!
Earth, take you. To restore the void within.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Look into my eye. Quite as slow. The earth splinters at my touch. Bounty.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Repent! Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I'll set you box.
Dire's courier has been killed. Killing spree! Unbelievable! Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Is a great conductor. Your anger is useless here. Double damage.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Kindred bounty.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Double kill!
'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! 'Double kill! Invisibility.
To the radiant.
Immortality.
Silence. Gather round.
I sense distortion. I return to the void.
What ingratitude. Silence. Behold.
Stop shaking.
Behold.
Dire are scanning for enemies. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Silence.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Killing spree!
Your corpse.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
A second wind.
Puck out. Silence.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is attacked. Dire's middle
Bounty.
tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Your fate line is unfortunate to touch my path.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Illusion.
Radiant's courier has been killed. One side's misstep is the other's cunning play.